It sure is difficult saying goodbye to a friend. Hello tarantula lovers, I'm Alex and you're watching Tarantula Haven. Today I've got a few rehousings to do that I've been wanting to do for a little while, and I also get to say goodbye to a friend. I'll touch on more about that later on. But yeah, today marks the first day of spring break for me, and it starts out with bad news. This weekend, my dog, she's a dachshund, her name is Penny, she started dragging her hind legs around and as if they were paralyzed. So we took her to the vet, and come to find out she has a ruptured disc in her spine. I hear this is a common thing with dachshunds because of their body shape. So yeah, she underwent surgery today, and it's costing me an arm and a leg, and I don't get to see her for like 3 to 5 days. So she's my little buddy, and I don't know what I'm going to do for 3 to 5 days. Who am I going to make faces with? So yeah, my emotions are a little bit raw, and the topic of this video doesn't help out any either. So let's get on with it. So the first two tarantulas that I'd like to rehouse are these right here. They are, or they used to be known as Avicularia species Peru purple. And I picked them up last year for my birthday, and they've gotten a little bit of size, so I'm ready to rehouse them into something a little bit larger. And these containers that I've got here, they're actually fruit fly containers from where I buy fruit flies, and I repurposed them into arboreal sling enclosures. They make very good sling enclosures. They're already ventilated at the top, and they got a fine screen mesh, so I don't really have to worry about them getting stuck on there. And you've got these little I put these little air holes on the side to give them adequate ventilation. Now, with Avicularia species, ventilation is key. A lot of people think that they need a lot of humidity, but if you don't have ventilation, then you're going to kill them. I actually started out with 3, and I did have 1 pass away, so I've got 2 left, so I'm thankful for that. And yeah, I want to go ahead and get them transferred over. So let's open up the first one. And they have a tendency to stick to the top, which this one has done, and there it is right there. So you can see it's gotten a little bit of good size to it there. It looks very much like a regular Avicularia at this point. It still hasn't gotten its adult colors in, but I mentioned earlier that they used to be known as Avicularia species Peru purple, and that's because they were undescribed. And what that means is they haven't categorized it yet into its final name. So they have been categorized, and the new name for these is Avicularia juruensis morph type 2. Now, as I've been keeping tarantulas, you learn a lot of stuff. And one of the things that I did not know when I first started keeping is about morph types or morphotypes. And what that means is that there are different types of the same species, but they're usually different color variations, and those color variations are usually regional depending on where they come from. So that's why they give them morph type 1, 2, and that kind of stuff. So there is another Avicularia juruensis out there, and morph type 1, and this one is morph type 2. So the species purple, or the Peru purple, is known as Avicularia juruensis morph type 2. So let's go ahead and get it moved over. And it's got itself wedged in that little crease there. So let me move this over to the light. Okay, so hopefully it won't bolt on me, which I don't think it should. They're usually not very prone to bolting. It's just going to circle around there. Let's see what we can do here. There it went. All right, so it just dropped right down in there. All right, there we go. Okay, so I'm going to transfer a little bit of webbing over to its enclosure just to help it feel a little bit more secure. I hear this helps. They can detect their own scent, so maybe it'll help it web up a lot faster and establish itself in its new home. All right, so now the next one, and this one is not on the lid, but as you can tell, it webbed up there. It just dropped down just now when I opened it up. So I'm going to go ahead and transfer some of that webbing right now. And now let's see if we can coax it out of here. This one went right to the bottom. All right. Come on, little guy. Yeah, he's trying to take off. They really don't like the feel of skin, so they like to take off running when they touch it. All right, so let's see if we could encourage it to go into the new enclosure. There you go. All right, and it dropped right in, down to the bottom. Okay, that takes care of that one. So the next two are a species that is near and dear to my heart, and that is the Carabina versicolor. And I love this species. When I first kept the one that I had, I just really enjoyed raising it. And they're just a very sweet-natured tarantula, and they're also extremely beautiful, both as a sling all the way on up into adulthood. And, you know, they start out extremely beautiful with their blue coloration, and they just end up gorgeous with their purples and reds and greens and everything that they have on them. They're one of the most colorful tarantulas that I know of. So these guys have gotten some size on them too. And I'm having a hard time getting it out. There you go. All right. They're all legs, and they jump too. All right, so let's go ahead and get this over. There we go. All right, little guy. Oh, wrong way, wrong way. There we go. Come on. He keeps going the wrong way. You don't want to go down. Come on. Nope. Not going. He clings to my finger. As you can see, they are just a mess. They just love to go everywhere. They take off running, but they're just a beautiful and very sweet-natured species. All right, so I got them. There we go. Awesome. Next up is Carabina versicolor number 2. And this one is a little bit smaller than the last one. There we go. But I'm going to rehouse it anyway. All right, let's hope this one doesn't go all over the place. So I am going to transfer it over as best as I can. Get it to walk over. Come on. Nope. Oh, that one just dropped right down. Well, that was easy. There we go. All right. And when I first got these, I had originally gotten 4. Oh, it's coming out. There we go. Talking about their messes. He doesn't. Whoa, he jumped. Come on, don't take off. All right, here we go. Here we go again. Come on, little guy. There you go. All right. Now, as I was saying, let me put this lid back on so we don't have them escape again. So when I bought these, I had originally bought 4 of them, but I ended up losing two early on. Two of them passed away. They were extremely tiny when I first got them, and so tiny that I had put them in these little dram vials to keep them in. And two of them did well, and they did just fine, and then the other two passed away. I thought they were doing well. They had molted, they were growing, and the next thing I know, they're dead at the bottom of the enclosure. So I don't know what happened. I thought I was doing everything correctly. So as far as this species, I would consider them somewhat delicate at their young stages, at that very tiny spiderling stage, maybe second instar or so. And if you were to buy one, I would definitely opt for a little bit larger one than the tiny spiderling, because I hate losing tarantulas. I do buy multiples of the same species in hopes of getting a female, not in hopes of, in case one of them dies or anything like that. So yeah, that's just one of those tough pills to swallow, but that's how it goes in the spider world. So I won't know. Hopefully in the future I won't make the same mistake if it was a mistake, but I felt like my husbandry was okay. Now, I mentioned that I have to say goodbye to a friend, and that friend is my Carabiner versicolor, who is now an adult, and it's a male. So when he finally matured, which was actually on Valentine's Day this year, I had to make a decision as to what I could do with him, because I didn't want him to go to waste. I didn't want him to just die in this enclosure. So I am sending him to a breeder so that he can make babies, and hopefully he will be successful and some babies will be produced from him. And that would be a very good thing for me, because I raised him from such a tiny sling, just like those other ones. And, it hurts to let him go, but I would much rather him not go to waste and go to someone who's going to utilize him to produce more of this species that I love. But I have to say goodbye. But another good thing, and this is kind of the bittersweet thing, is in exchange, I am getting a male Psalmopoeus cambridgei that I could breed to my female, and hopefully I can produce some babies of those as well. So it's a good thing and it's a bad thing. I hate to let him go. You wouldn't think that someone would get attached to a tarantula, but I have. When you raise them from such a tiny little thing, you go through all those different developmental stages with them, the different color changes. So yeah, you end up falling in love with them. So yeah, I hate to see him go, but I love that he's going to go to someone who's going to use him to breed more of this species. And that is one last meal for him for the road. So that's it for me today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give me a like. If you want to see more, subscribe. If you want to support this channel, I have a Redbubble store where I sell Tarantula Haven merchandise. Any of the proceeds from the Redbubble store will go directly to help grow and support this channel. Until next time, keep loving those tarantulas.